What if the man you dismissed as a nobody turned out to be the key to a secret buried deep in the nation's heart? In the sweltering courtroom of Fulton County, Georgia, the air was thick with tension. Officer Daniel Hargrove, a burly cop with a reputation for quick tempers, stood guard near the defendant's table. His eyes scanned the room, settling on Marcus Ellison, a black man in his early 30s, sitting quietly in a faded suit. Marcus's hands were cuffed, his gaze fixed on the floor, but there was something in his posture unyielding, almost regal, that unsettled Hargrove. The case was routine, a minor theft charge, a plea deal in the works. Yet, when Marcus stood to speak, Hargrove's impatience boiled over. With a swift, unprovoked kick to Marcus's shin, he barked, "Sit down and shut up." The courtroom gasped, the judge slammed her gavel, and Marcus stumbled but didn't fall. His eyes met Hargrove's, not with anger, but with a piercing calm that made the officer's skin prickle. The judge ordered Hargrove out, but not before he sneered at Marcus, muttering, "You're nothing." Marcus said nothing, only stared back, his silence louder than any protest. As Hargrove stormed toward the exit, a court clerk handed him a file to review for the next case. Flipping it open, his eyes caught Marcus's name, Marcus J. Ellison. His breath hitched. That name wasn't just any name. It matched a classified Pentagon file Hargrove had glimpsed years ago during a security briefing, one tied to a covert operation so sensitive it was whispered about only in locked rooms. His hands trembled as he read further. The man he'd just assaulted wasn't a petty thief. He was a ghost, a figure presumed dead, linked to a mission that had reshaped global intelligence. Hargrove's mind raced back to that briefing. The file had described a young operative, a prodigy in cryptography, who'd infiltrated a terrorist network, only to vanish after a mission went wrong. The Pentagon had scrubbed his existence, declaring him key to protect national security. Yet here he was, alive, in a county courtroom, taking a kick from a small-time cop. Hargrove's arrogance drained away, replaced by a cold sweat. What was Marcus doing here, posing as a nobody? Enter Lila Monroe, a sharp-eyed public defender who'd been watching the scene unfold. She wasn't supposed to be Marcus's lawyer, just stopped by to drop off paperwork, but something about his quiet dignity drew her in. Lila had a knack for spotting lies, and Marcus's story didn't add up. The theft charge was flimsy, the evidence laughably thin. She approached him during a recess, her voice low. "You're not who they say you are you?" Marcus's lips twitched, almost a smile. "You're the first to ask," he said softly. Lila dug deeper, pulling strings with an old contact at the DOJ. What she uncovered wasn't just a twist, it was a bombshell. Marcus wasn't just a former operative. He was on a self-imposed mission, living undercover to expose a corruption ring tied to the very courthouse they stood in. The twist hit Hargrove hardest. Back at the precinct, he accessed the Pentagon file again, risking his clearance. The details confirmed it. Marcus had sacrificed his identity to protect the country, only to be betrayed by those he served. The theft charge was a setup, a way to silence him before he could blow the whistle. Hargrove, now haunted by his actions, faced a choice: stay silent and protect his career, or help Marcus, risking everything. He chose the latter, slipping Lila key evidence that unraveled the corruption ring. In the final hearing, Marcus stood again, this time uncuffed. The charges were dropped, the courtroom buzzing with whispers. Hargrove, demoted but unbowed, watched from the back, knowing he'd been part of something bigger. Marcus met his gaze one last time, nodding slightly, not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. As he walked free, Marcus carried the weight of his past, but also the hope of a truth finally uncovered. What does it mean to judge a man by his appearance, only to find he holds the weight of a nation's secrets? Marcus Ellison's story reminds us, every soul has a story, and some are written in shadows we'll never see. Yindi.